Welcome to KUTV Rise today on this. It is the 28th of January 2024, the last Tuesday 2025. Oh my God.
Bado watu watawajazoea kwa signature. Kwa signature wanakula moto sana.
Yes.
It's a check 2024.
I make that mistake a lot. So, welcome to KUTV Rise today. This is Biashara Tuesday. You're watching Biashara Tuesday on this last Tuesday of January 2025. And we have quite a number in store for you today. But first,
thank you so much. So we have a lot and I'm very glad. Thank you so much. I don't know how your morning has been.
The morning has been great.
Unajua kila wakati unatokeaga route fulani na ndio maana napenda kuona ukiwa na security. I wonder if they give the same security to the Chief Justice who is crying juu hakuna justice. It's all in the papers. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Biashara Tuesday, KUTV Rise today inawaka moto kwa mpigo tena zaidi. Race against time. We now have a selection panel that will deliver to Kenyans.
Finally, we have a good thing happening in Kenya. We have a positive news in Kenya.
A chairperson is needed from this team and members of the IEBC. There are questions arising, especially with the appointment and of people like Professor Adams Olo. We'll be telling them about that. Welcome to the show. Popote pale ulipo. My name is OJWANG MARIAM, ukipenda mtoto wa MARIAM, Senior Warrant Officer 1, ama Luteni Kanali mami.
And ANYANGO SYLVIA right here on KUTV Biashara Tuesday. We will have later on during our discussions this morning, we'll be talking about personal branding, demystifying myths on personal branding. You know, some of us think that when we talk about a conversation on personal branding, we think it's about fame, it's about the following on social media. But we want to tell you today how you can harness your brand and make quite an impression on your business and everything in between. So stay tuned for that discussion and many more. We'll also be having and that discussion will be joined this morning by Gamaliel Gerishom Malungu, who will be live with us today. He is a CEO Permanent Success Consultancy. He is a trainer. He has trained corporates. He has trained he has trained institutions and generally he's just a public do we call it a public speech?
Public
speaker. He's a leadership productive coach. So he'll be telling us what you need to know about your brand and how to build your brand, an effective brand, not just a brand, an effective brand.
They are calling him outside there GGM. Gamaliel Gerishom Malungu. He will be here talking about it's a conversation that is very important to us as a youth of this country. It is also a conversation that is very important to our parents on the same question. What is personal branding? How can we maximize the potential of this personal branding? Ndio kila mtu apate kakitu. The goal is to laugh all the way to the bank. But pia after that, we'll be talking about what's trending on our newspaper. Safaricom takes on Musk's Starlink with subsea cable. Safaricom wameingia CA, Communications Authority of Kenya, wanataka sasa kuanza kuleta fiber yao kutoka kwenye wanaitaga majuu. So watapitia machini, yani undersea. Alafu Elon Musk na yeye anasema net yangu na analeta na satellite majuu. Haya, papo hapo hivyo Kenya unlocks 8 billion shillings relief in first date of climate swap. We'll be seeking to know how are they going to spend this amount of money, how is it going to help Mkenya wa kawaida na masuala kama hayo. In East Africa, there will be a crisis meeting that has been called by the chairperson of East African Community, who is the 5th president of Kenya, President William Ruto, baada ya Goma kuingia ngoma ingine. The M23 rebels wanaingia sana huko hivyo.
It is quite a discussion. It's both in the East Africa and Africa at large. So we will be looking at that also and seeing what is going to be happening or what needs to be done. We also have on the Standard still bare knuckle, where Gachagua is pointing fingers to President William Ruto for him to look at the corruption at his office first before pointing fingers to others. And also on the dailies, We have Race Against Time, where finally we have IEBC selection panel. Those are just but a few of the newspaper reviews, newspapers that we're having. We'll also look at The Star. It also has an interesting story over there about government offering tenders.
Mbadi wa chopper.
Yes.
And these choppers are meant for politicians.
Yes.
But when I look at the Standard headline today, Bare Nakot. It's Rigathi Gachagua there, and the photo they have used is the same photo they have been using frequently. Kitambo, we used to see photos of DP then, Rigathi Gachagua, akika kama chief ama mzee wa kijiji, yeah, clean but too much checked. But right now, he looks like a presidential figure. The other side, we have President William Ruto still laughing at him, asking, "Uyu mbona anaendelea?" And they are saying, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, in a scathing attack on President William Ruto, has claimed he presides over corruption at State House, and that a new coalition will be crafted to ensure he is a one-term president. About corruption, the former DP was also heard criticizing the fact that an international polling session had been conducted, and President William Ruto by votes had won with over 440,000 votes. That was a record high, but still he emerged number 2. And Rigathi was saying that sisi kama wa Kenya tunafaa tutafute haki yetu. So the most corrupt president in Kenya was the Syrian president. Number 2 ni huyu.
Oh my God, you can't say that out loud even ushtuki. Mbona ushtuki?
Even if imeandikwa.
Okay, those are among the stories that you are going to be looking at this morning. At this time, let's take you to the roads and tell you what is going on so you can get prepared as you go to work. Now, let's begin with where you came from. Leo umetokea wapi?
Mimi always natokaga Roysambu. Roysambu jam tunajua mahali huwa inakuwa according to days. Like today is Tuesday. Every day kila mtu anasemaga I'm ready for Tuesday. Inamaanisha kwamba jam iko. Jam ya Roysambu huanza in the entrance of Kiambu, which is the roundabout that connects Thika Superhighway and the Eastern Bypass. As unaelekea Northern Bypass ndio ukatoke Kiambu Road. Hapo hivyo panakuaga jam na hadi saizi asubuhi bado pako bumper to bumper. Another jam yenye inatokea kwetu ni pale ukienda kuingia Pangani. Always. Hata ukiangalia kwako utapata kukiwa hivyo. Yeah. Alafu pia kunanyesha kwetu kwenye nimetoka. Viwango vya joto viko 17 centigrade, 17 degrees Celsius. Too cold, but we keep telling them inaweza kuwa cold saa wengine kukue jua. But depending on what we told them yesterday about how the weather will be today, it has been the same. That utaamka, utapata kulinyesha, kuna baridi kiasi. So you mind about what you're wearing when you're going to work.
Actually, this season, the national, the meteorological department has given a warning, or is it a directive, that it's going to be raining for quite some time. And we saw the other day, mvua ilinyesha tu kidogo, yani inashtua tu hivi, and it's flooding in some places. So
it's flooding hadi saa hizi. Kuna Lang'ata. Lang'ata barabara inajaa maji. Kuna watu wanaita Lake Lang'ata. Inaingia mpaka CBD. Kukinyesha kidogo CBD. And the governor of Nairobi was so vocal about it, na akasema flooding inaletwa juu ya nyumba hizo mzee. Na anasema hiyo sio shida yake. Na akaongeza akasema Kenyans love complaining so much. Do you complain so much?
I mean, if something is affecting you, I wouldn't call it complaining. I would call it speaking up. You
So
know,
what do you do ukiwa kwa jam na jam imezidi, umechelewa, now you're driving yourself?
You just relax. You know, there are things you can't control.
Patience.
Relax and tune into KUTV because why not?
So we are still live on KUTV. Kama ni YouTube uko, we are a family of 72,000.3. 72.3K. Yesterday, we were at 72.1, meaning 200 viewers or subscribers have joined our family today.
Through the night.
So ukiwa kwa jam na hauna TV yako uwezi beba, hauko pale kwa FTA, free to air signet, basi unachukua simu. On your mobile phone, we are streaming live in KUTV Kenya, that YouTube channel. We are streaming live on KUTV Kenya, our Facebook page again. And
now on another place, our dear viewer, you need to be careful with is around the Ruiru bypass. That is on Thika Road. That is where I actually come from this morning. And when I was coming, it was so smooth. But right now, there is a little bit of jam, but it's not that heavy. You can manage that. So just be patient. And also around Kenyatta University, that is around this Thika Road, this, what is it called?
Service.
Riru, not Riru,
Kawasukari, yeah.
There's also a slight jam over there. So you can also take note of that. And also another jam that we are always expecting, and it's always there, that is from, where is this place? This is along Thika Road still, but this is from past Roysambo.
Yeah.
Past Roysambo, all the way to, what is this place? Yeah, past Roysambo, all the way to, this is not Roysambo, that is Githurai to Roysambo. It is a really very thick jam. I don't know if it's something has happened. Your
jam happened because Githurai is a very busy market. It serves 2 counties, Nairobi County, it serves Kiambu County. So in the morning, it's always a busy morning. We have people coming from Githurai 44, they want to join the Thika Super Highway. We have people coming from Mwihoko, Kahawa Barracks, they want to join the same Thika Super Highway. Na usisahau yale magari yote yenye yalikuwa yamekwama kwa jam yenye umesema iko pale hivyo Ruiru bypass yanakuja yapatane hapa hivi. So if you are not on highway uko pale service, lazima utapatana na hii jam yenye tunaongelelea for now.
That is right, and they also begin from Allsops all the way to Survey, Muthaiga. It is also heavy there along Kiambu Road from Muthaiga. There's also a very thick jam over there. So today is not quite a good morning for those who are going to work. So just brace up, relax, because you know when you can't do anything about something, you only have to relax. That's the only option you have.
Unaingiza pia serenity prayer.
Yes, you relax.
God grant me the serenity.
But let's hope it's not like the one that was here yesterday along Thika Road. That was bad.
That was bad. That was bad. It concerned a lot of issues, including the issues that are happening in the village of KM, Kiwanja, a place that is the most marginalized part of Roysambu constituency. And the jam was from afternoon all the way to evening because of the helter-skelter caused by all of these people.
Yeah, we're hoping today gets smoother. Now, that is on roads and weather. Oh, we didn't give a weather update.
We did, and we told them that in Roysambu, where I came from, it is 17 degrees Celsius, okay? And we have clouds, bado tuko na mvua, and we are expecting kuanzia masaa ya saa 8 kutakuwa tuna mawingu, now not that wet, but kuendelea hivyo tu jioni bado itakuwa ni baridi. Kama kutakuwa na joto jingi, if there will be that kind yenye lazima utoe koti, haitapita 25 degrees Celsius, but ukishuka pia baridi isikuzidie sana, haitakuwa itapita 16 degrees Celsius. This is expected to go on in Nairobi, Mombasa and Kisumu, whereby kutakuwa na some areas zitakuwa na mvua jioni, rasha. I believe kwenye ulisema ni juu ya convection rainfall.
Convection rainfall.
It keeps occurring. So on Friday itashinda jua. Yeah, na watajua tu.
Yeah. Now that's on our weather update this morning. Let's get, we'll now get to a briefing on our news update before we dive right into our discussion that we're all awaiting this morning. All right, now we are getting ready for the discussion that we have been waiting for this morning. It is going to be interesting. I'm sure you'll be watching us.
Obviously, matters personal branding.
Yes.
I say they are matters of importance to us as the youth, and to those people who are older than us. Remember, we are living in a digital age. In this digital age, ni kama haina miaka. It doesn't really care so much. Yeah. That is why you had great lawyers like Grand Muller, Nasil Law, talking about those people who were abducted in December all the way to January, including Bernard Kavuli, saying that Bernard Kavuli is just a young man who is challenging him online or on X. Kitambo, Sylvia, there is nowhere mnaweza kaa chini na mzee. Mkae chini mwanze kusema hapana mzee, hii nchi inaendelea vibaya. Hapana mzee, huku sio kuzuri. It's only in the digital age. So in that platform, you need to be well branded.
Yes.
You need to be self-aware. Na hizo ndio conversations zenye zitatusaidia sana, because it's Tuesday. We are here to make money or learn how to make money.
Yeah, it's it's about the digital reputation, where we'll be telling you that a brand is not just a logo. A brand is what defines you, the authenticity of you, your beliefs, your values, and what pulls people towards you. And we'll be telling you about, if you're beginning a business, you don't have to sell us the product. You sell us the feeling.
The emotions. Sisi no Africa.
Yes, that is what we are going to be talking about. And who in studio will be joined by Gamaliel Gerishom Mulungu, who is a highly accomplished leadership and productivity coach, corporate trainer, and motivational speaker with over 4 years of experience. So we are going to be having someone who is experienced. We are not going to be having a quack. We are going to be having someone who understands what he says, from reading, from being dedicated into doing what he does best. Now we'll be having that after this short break.
After this short break, it's a good time then to remind them that on this particular show, they can also enjoy with us, as we are bringing these experts on board to discuss matters of business and how to make money, finances, and how to improve our economy. We are giving our viewers a chance to advertise on this platform, KUTV Rise Today, Biashara Tuesday. So as tunaingia hicho kipindi kifupi tu cha mapumziko, check out the ads there or the promos there and ask yourself, why can't your ad run in between these promos? You're taking a short break.
So my name is Jakub Petri. I'm Associate Professor in the Institute of Philosophy of Jagiellonian University in Krakow, Poland. And I'm the main coordinator of the Cafe project, which is being here hosted by Kenyatta University.
My name is Ewa Hudoba. I am a project manager in this consortium. Keep watching cutting edge research at Kenyatta University Television.
Access to knowledge, solution to unanswered questions.
Guidelines to pursuing your rights and repossessing your property, intellectual or material.
This and more only on Law Matters.
In a world where uncertainty rules and opportunities are scarce, it's time to break from the barrier and unlock your full potential.
We must live within our means. We cannot spend money that we don't have.
We will explore the fascinating world of investment, trade secrets, business strategies, and entrepreneurship.
Sasa challenges ziko mingi sana. Parking ya mzigo imekuwa mbaya. Unaweka pesa yako inakataa kurudi.
Whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting out, what you covered with invaluable insights to help you succeed.
Now, this year we have seen a rebound in the economy, which is well above the global average of the 3%.
Join me, Anyango Sylvia, every Sunday and Monday on KUTV News at 9, and let's turn your dreams into reality.
Starting Saturday, 25th January of 2025, the ever-entertaining, educative and energizing high school fair will be taking place at KU Graduation Square. The event will start from 9 a.m. and will be live on KUTV Kenya. The event will be open to all high school students free of charge. Join us and learn more on the academic programs and interact with the different faculties. Public lectures on topical issues will also be taking place throughout the week, with corporate exhibitions taking center stage as well. The official opening ceremony will take place on the 28th of January 2025 at the KU Graduation Square. This year's theme is dubbed Future Outlook: Careers for Sustainable Development in the Digital Age and Green Economy. Be part of us as we mark the 2025 KU Career Week Fair.
Maelfu na maelfu ya wahamiaji wakiwa na watoto kutoka nchi za Amerika ya Kati wanaendelea kuwasili kwenye mpaka kati ya Marekani na Mexico.
But folks, I'm going. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ni habari kutoka pembe zote duniani.
Pepo pasi vuguvugu. Pepo pa ni idea.
Tazidi ananyonya, hanyonyi vizuri, anakuwa hayuko comfortable.
Jeshi la Jamhuri ya Kidemokrasia ya Kongo linapambana na waasi wa ADF.
Kwa sasa wanatoa wito kwa mashirika, makampuni na vile vituo vya uchukuzi.
Mambo mengi yatakwenda kama yalivyopangwa.
Hapa ni kuna mmoja wa viongozi wa chama cha wavuvi katika eneo hili.
Zaidi tunajaribu kuwapa chanjo ili ina boost ama inanyanyua kinga ya mwili, ndio inaenda kupelekea kupambana na virusi.
Ni dunia ni leo, Jumatatu mpaka Ijumaa, moja kwa moja kutoka VOA Swahili, Washington DC.
We are all seeing the impacts of climate change. In Kenya, for example, the frequency of the floods is becoming more and worse. The amount of people and livestock we are losing.
The level we need to go is a level where the normal mwananchi and also the government stakeholders can uptake these solutions.
Those small acts multiplied by millions of us will help make a difference in the world at the end of the day.
It's just a slight behavior change that we need, and you find that it serves us a bit more than you put in, and that's the goal. We want to live a better world than we found, because at the rate we are going, it's dire.
We will secure the planet for future generations.
Imagine a world where you are empowered to take charge of your health, where you are well informed about the latest advancements in healthcare and understand the policies that impact your well-being. Get ready to take charge of matters your health as we bring you a blend of weekly health features that engage professionals from across various medical fields.
When do you decide as a patient, do I need to go see the doctor? We are at a stage where we are seeing all this manner of chronic illnesses, and we wait until we get a disease, and then is when we go ahead.
From the most mundane to the complexities that perhaps seem overwhelming, we got you covered.
In terms of the factors that might be attributed, there are hereditary factors that means it could be genetic, so that's one factor. But there are other factors as well, like nutritional deficiencies. So some vitamins, such as folate, have been identified to be a factor in those. So
our mission is to break down intricate health topics into understandable and actionable insights. Join me, Yvonne Kimuma, every Wednesday 9 p.m. on KUTV's News at 9, where your health is our priority.
Access to knowledge, solution to unanswered questions.
Guidelines to pursuing your rights and repossessing your property, intellectual or material.
This and more only on Law Matters.
Welcome back on this Biashara Tuesday show, where we are talking about personal branding. And in studio, I am joined by Gamaliel Gerisho Malungu. He strictly reminded me not to mention or pronounce his name in a wrong way. So Gamaliel is joining us this morning for a conversation on personal branding. And we are going to demystify all the myths. We are going to talk about a brand is not a logo. A brand is your identity. A brand is the promise you keep. A brand is your differentiation. A brand makes business memorable. And a brand these days, making a brand is absolutely free. So we are going to have more on that. But first, Gamaliel, please introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Very important for having me today. I should have started with my name, but let me start with my purpose. I'm a world leader who is passionate about providing long-lasting solutions to the world with excellence. And all this is capped under my brand, Permanent Success Consultancy, which is one of the biggest brands that has ever existed, I believe so. Yeah, I am leadership and productivity coach and trainer. And that's what I have been doing for the past 4 years. And I'm so glad with the impact that I'm making on a daily basis. And I believe with this conversation about personal branding, we'll continue to impact the world, especially on people who are looking forward to grow themselves in different industries across the world.
Just to set this ball rolling, what propels you, or what makes you move as a brand? What is it, this important thing that makes you push yourself as a brand?
Yeah, thank you for that question. When I'm looking at, first of all, the brand that I am bearing, Permanent Success Consultancy, several people have asked me, what do you mean by permanent success? Is there really permanent success? Yes, it is. It is there. And looking at where I have come from, and you know, for me, I'm a very, let me say, staunch believer of Jesus Christ, of God. And one of the things that really stands out for me is the fact that God has never created anyone to suffer, or anyone to come and loiter around looking for things which they are supposed to do. So permanent success, in brief, I know we're going to have much more discussions around it, is all about demystifying that you are supposed to succeed. You are meant to succeed. You're supposed to make it, that there is no room for you to fail. So as we carry it forth, we have comprehensive trainings that we are doing just to give you skills, to give you the know-how, because knowledge is very important. Even one day God himself lamented that my people perish for lack of knowledge. And I believe with the brand, even as we continue with the conversation, I'll be able to tell much more about how we can be able to grow even as individuals. Yes.
Now, we are already rolling.
All right.
So let's get this in a business perspective. Now, having, you consider yourself as a brand. So there is one thing about having something visual to describe you, that when someone sees it, he says, okay, this is Permanent Success, this is Coca-Cola, this is Bugatti, this is Mercedes. There is that logo that it's visual. Someone sees it as that. So at some point, it's considered not so important in a business perspective that a logo will not sell your product. A logo will not sell your service. So how has this been for you? How do you consider the visual impression of someone having a brand?
Yeah, I don't think that a logo is a representation of a brand, because I'll use very simple examples. Like you were called Sylvia. Apparently, your parent could have named you another name. So Sylvia necessarily could not have been your brand. It's the same thing to a logo. A logo, yes, it's just a representation, but still you could have another logo. So what really builds the brand is actually what you do, is what you're bringing into the market. That's what stands out for you. Is your competitive edge in the market that actually builds the brand. So when we talk about the logo, the colors, that's just part of branding, but the real branding is what really defines you in the market.
Talking about your definition in the market, how exactly can someone stand out as a brand in the market?
Standing out in the market is all about the problem that you are solving, because there are so many problems. I remember the first video I recorded when I was still in Kenyatta University. I said that a business is built on a problem that many people are facing. So once you have studied a problem and looking at your purpose, looking at your skills, looking at your passion, you see that I have something that will definitely solve the problems of these people. Then definitely you've already started building a brand, because that is what will identify you with the people. So besides that, and here's where now everything should always originate from, because over time I've interacted with people on not only personal angles, but also corporately. And one thing that I came to notice is so many people run for things which they think will make them money. At the end of the day, they end up being frustrated because they forgot the initial stage, which is purpose. So you see, purpose is built on something. And when I look at this, I'll give a very good example. If someone needs to buy a phone, the first thing that they always think about is, what is that phone going to help me with? So once they know the purpose of the phone, they go and look for it. So many times people forget the purpose and they go for what they want, which many times is just to satisfy their immediate gratification. So at the end of the day, it's not sustainable. But once you've discovered the purpose of your brand, this is what I want to do, then you have to focus on, what am I going to give to these people? What is it that I'm going to solve in the market? What is it that will stand out for me? So for someone who is in business, you must always start from that point. And the initial stage is definitely purpose. Purpose is the original intent of something. So that means you'll be sustainable for long. But if you do not have the purpose, which is many times I normally say it is the why you are doing it, then you can be swayed around by anything, by waves. One of the biggest brands that I have associated myself since I was born is Jesus. When you look at Jesus as a brand, because that is what I can really talk about, is he is the same yesterday, today, and forever. That is how a brand should always look like. You should be the same yesterday, today and forever. The fact that you keep on changing, it means that you did not know your why when you're going for the business. And you did not define it. Why? Because maybe you're just carried by waves. Oh, someone is starting a business and it's making him or her good money. Let me start it as well. And then at the end of the day, if the business is not making money, you switch to something else.
So would you before we confuse or we take our viewer, it's like we have skipped. We have mentioned brand, and a brand needs to be, you need to have a purpose, you need to know what you're doing and stick to it, you need to be the same. So in just a brief definition, how would you define a brand? How would you say like, okay, this is a brand?
All right, I will say that a brand is an intentional process where you are building yourself on something. So this is normally built on the value. So you are doing it on a daily basis. You are consistently doing it. So a brand is that process whereby on a single day, every day, you are doing something to make yourself known. So what does that mean? A brand should always be identified with quality of something, with value, just as I've said before. So as you are doing it on a daily basis, you come and discover that you are growing every day. But many people will want to identify a brand with something that has already grown, with social media, with fame, and things like that. But at the end of the day, you have to be intentional about crafting it, about communicating it. And it must always be built on character of purpose. Character of purpose, I mean that when you know this is what I want to do, then you form everything around it. Then now, that is a brand.
Often, when someone is building themselves as a brand, these days it's confused to be social media presence in terms of your following and all that. But there is this, you need to be authentic when building your brand. So how does someone juggle between being authentic in terms of what they believe in terms of what they, their values are, and what the business needs, like what the business takes and what they believe? How does someone balance between the two?
Yeah, that's a very important question, because in my coaching sessions, I think I've had several people who have wallowed in the pressure of social media. As far as social media is important as a tool to make sure that your brand is well known, but as well you can easily slip on the side of not offering quality services just because you need following, just you need to be famous and stuff like that. And one thing that I've discovered that many people really compromise their values. They compromise their character. They compromise what they really stand for because of social media presence. And there are people as well, they are still using the same opportunity to make themselves known, but they are still standing on values, on characters that really build a brand. So you need to balance both of them to make sure that you are growing in social media, but you do not compromise your values. Because you realize that sometimes when it comes to getting many followers, you may compromise to what people really want on social media, and then you compromise the original intent of what you are doing, because social media is full of waves. So full of waves. So today something will be trending, but tomorrow it will not be trending. So you find yourself like, oh, because this is trending, let me align myself with it. But you are aligning with something that is not aligning with your values. So social media is very good, but you must always make sure that whatever you are doing on social media, it aligns with your value. Let it always build on that brand. Yes.
But I just have something that is confusing when it comes to making a brand or making your brand sell. For example, Starbucks, Art Cafe, when you hear that name, you think of coffee.
Yes.
You think of burgers.
Yes.
And the same business is done by a restaurant at the corner of the street, someone selling coffee, even maybe better coffee than the one sold on Art Cafe. So at some point, it's a matter of attention. So how do you balance between this pressure? I heard somewhere where a speaker was saying that for you to be known, for you to make a sale, you need attention. So how do you manage with this pressure of trying to build, to get attention for your brand and trying to, sometimes when, let me say this, sometimes doing saying loudly what you do is perceived to be bragging. So how do you balance between talking about what you do to get attention and balancing between that and being perceived as a person who is bragging?
All right. This is what I'll say categorically is you cannot be known for everything, no matter how good you are at them. Someone said it's better to be known for something than to be known for nothing. What does that mean? There are individual people who are very brilliant. They have very good services. They are positioned in very good marketplaces, but they are known for nothing. Why? Because they are consistently doing different things. For me to give you attention, that means there is a specific thing that you're known for. There is a specific thing that you always do consistently. And you see, in one of my trainings, I've always said that whatever you focus on the longest becomes the strongest. How is it becoming the strongest? Because today I will come in your shop and just like you've mentioned at cafe, and you serve me coffee. Based on its quality, I'm going to tell someone else that I was at cafe and they served me very good coffee. Then imagine the same person that I've referred your services to comes and they find that you're serving African tea. So you realize that consistency is not there. So that attention will always come when you are consistent with not many things, but with one thing. Yes, you can diversify as you grow, as you continue, because you realize when you're serving people, you'll always identify needs. But you're building those needs on what you originally planned to do. You mentioned something that is also very, I don't like using the word confusing, but because you've mentioned it, I'll use it. That people say that when you speak about your achievements, you are bragging. As it may, it is not true. Because when I tell you about what I've done, I'm talking about my story. I'm talking about my impact. I'm building trust in you to tell you that I've not started to do this thing now. I started it a long time ago. And I realized even when you were introducing me, you mentioned something that over 4 years of experience in doing leadership and productivity. What is that doing? I'm not bragging, but I'm telling you that I've already earned credibility. I've already earned experience and expertise in doing these things. That's why when you go for the interview, they ask you about your experience. Your experience is what you've done, is your achievements before. So you cannot be telling me when you're going for the interview, you are actually bragging. Because nobody likes people or loves people who are bragging, because even the Bible advises us to be humble. So I want to discourage that notion that when you stand to speak and you speak about your achievements, you are bragging. It's not bragging. And the people who say that, I'm sorry to say it, because you are envious. You have nothing to show. That's why you say that this person is bragging, because I'm 100% sure if you have something to show, you will definitely speak about it because you're proud of your progress.
Okay, let's talk about what branding does in differentiating businesses at the market. Because when, let's use an example of when you talk about Mercedes, someone thinks about comfortability.
Yes.
Someone thinks about luxury. When you talk about, what else? Coca-Cola.
Yes.
Someone thinks about the feeling of relaxation, family, and it's when it's hot, someone thinks about Coca-Cola rather than water. So what role does, can we say that what you bring to the table, you're compelling to feelings, you're compelling to emotions, and what the niche you take, you need to be a good storyteller in that so that you can differentiate your brand from others?
Yes. Yes, it's very vital, especially for people in business. And this is not just for people in business, even individuals. Because I think there is another misconception where people think, and I know we probably will have a discussion about it, that a brand is always associated with businesses or famous people or influencers or something of the sort. But when you look at it deeply, and this is what people need to understand, that at the end of the day, for you to stand out, you must offer something that is not offered in the market. You must always do that, because that is what gives you credibility. That's what builds trust. I've always been speaking about this, that don't just do things because people are doing. do it because you really want to offer value. Unless you are doing that, then you will never be known. You are never building a brand. Look at the examples you've mentioned about Mercedes-Benz. You can imagine how prestigious a Mercedes car is. I would really love to drive a Mercedes because of the name that even it builds for you as an individual. Probably I would not want to drive any other car just because Mercedes is there, and it also helps me to build a brand. So what is Mercedes offering? Apart from the name that is very prestigious, look at comfort. Look at how it looks even from outside. It looks beautiful. So when you look at your brand, how do you look? How do people see you? When they come into your business, what differentiates you from the other people? That's what makes you stand out. And many times when I've been doing customer service training, I've always told people that you are in a competition for feelings. In one single day, a human being has more than 400 different emotions. So as long as you are in business, people do not have a problem paying for quite expensive products or services. As long as you can make them feel good. How do you make them feel good? By how you talk to them. That's one. Number two, because you see, you have to associate with a human being, because there is a human aspect in every business. And that's why people have to see your face. People have to see your story. People have to see your achievement so that they can easily associate with it. But at the end of the day, I normally ask myself, you could be offering quality service, but poor customer service. I will not come there. I guarantee you 101%. I value my moods. I value how I feel. So if you have quality service, make sure you also have quality products, quality services. At the end of the day, the word of mouth is more powerful than social media. Because at the end of the day, I may not humanize myself with a social media presence. Yes, I could. But once I come and experience myself with what you are offering, then I can definitely come there and pay for your services. So there is quality of service. And then there is how you administer the quality of the products and services that you're offering. That builds your brand 101%.
So you'd say how this relates to us, how this, the lessons we can draw from these big brands is when you're offering services, or when you if you're in business as a person, you need to choose what line or your target audience, what you want them to experience. It's about the experience. That's what you're saying. It's differentiates brands.
Yes, yes. I will say, and I think I've mentioned it before as well, you cannot succeed in everything. A Mercedes car will never want to be Lexus. No matter how beautiful, big, prestigious Lexus is, they must always focusing on improving it. Remember, I said what you focus on the longest becomes the strongest. What does that mean? When you compare Mercedes-Benz in 1990s, in 1950s, and the current Mercedes-Benz, you'll discover that they've always been growing. They've always been growing. What are they doing? They are making sure that the experience of their customers, the people who are using the brand, are getting the best experience. But if you compare, if you start today, Mercedes-Benz, they decide to do something else that is looking like Lexus or something like that, they're going to lose what we call credibility. They're starting to compare themselves with other people. And I've always said this, when you compare yourself with other people, you lose yourself. Because you are not them, and they are not you. So when you look at Mercedes and these other big brands, they have identified a niche. When you look at the history of Lexus, it comes from the word luxury. So they looked at the market in the United States, because that is where it started. And they realized that the people in the United States, they not only want a car or a vehicle, they want luxury. So what are they going to put in that car? Nothing less than luxury. So you have identified a niche. Then you identify an audience. So which audience do you really want to target? What are the needs of the audience that I'm targeting? Then by looking at it, you will discover that you are offering exactly what they need. If you are in business, you must always define that, because you cannot be selling for everyone. If you are selling for everyone, you do not have an audience. That's why there are people who will not afford Mercedes-Benz, no matter how much they admire it. There is a class for such people. No matter how much you admire a V8, it's a big car. Of course, one day I'm going to drive it. but it's for a class of people. Same to Wits. It has been made for a certain audience of people to serve a specific need. So for you who is in business, you must always define that. What am I offering? Which is the audience?
Talking about audience, you know, someone goes to a high end, someone goes to the supermarket, buys tomatoes at maybe say 3 tomatoes at 100 shillings.
Yes.
The same tomatoes, when he goes to Mama Mboga,
yes,
ambiwe at 320, atakuwa like, why?
Yes.
It's just about branding, as you say.
Yeah.
When you identify your target audience, someone will not bargain because of what you've built, the brand you've built, what they associate themselves with.
Yes.
They associate with themselves with class, comfortability, a sense of pride in themselves. So how do we help someone who is juggling between someone who has identified a niche but wants to venture in different things? Like if you look at, of late, I'm really following on rich people habits. Most of them will tell you have multiple businesses, have multiple streams of income. Like for example, if I'm buying a car, like if I have money to buy a car, that does not mean that I can afford the car. So if I'm buying a car, there is a source of income that fuels that car. It's responsible for that maintenance. Like it's not coming from where I used to get money. That one pulls you down. So how would you advise someone who is building a brand but wants to venture in different areas?
All right. Even before I respond to that question, I really love the way you've put it, that 3 tomatoes in a supermarket, the price is different from the one you buy from Kibandaski. You see, it's all about where you present yourself. 500 liters of water along the streets of Nairobi could be 30 shillings. When you go at Branch Hotel, let me say Lazarus, it's 100 shillings. When you go to Serena Hotel, it's 500 shillings. When you go probably to the airport, it should be 1,500 shillings. What does that? It's the same bottle, the same quantity, probably from the same industry or from the same manufacturer. You see, it's different price, but in different places because of the audience, But when we talk about now, you have different passions. I think it's a wrong move of identifying yourself as a brand, more especially at the initial stages of building a brand. I understand that you are very hardworking. Yes, I understand that you really want to make it. You are angry about poverty. It's like, no, I have to show people that I got this. I understand all that. I understand that where you are coming from, you only believe that it's only through hard work, diversifying my income, you know. I have to start a fertilizer business, I have to do laundry business, I have to have a hotel here, I have to be in transport business. Remember what I said. You cannot be known for everything. You can only be known for something. But realize this, when you are growing, you can diversify. But if you know you are building a brand, and you are on your initial stage, please focus. Build it, let it grow, let it stand out there, and then little by little, you start building on it by diversifying on other things that necessarily doesn't need your full attention. Because, let me use a good example. If you just started a radio station, you need the brand to go out there. But tomorrow, we are seeing you are in politics. Within 3 months, you've stopped politics. Maybe you are in dairy farming. Another day you've stopped dairy farming, you started probably importing some things from China, from UK, from Dubai. A human being has one mind. And as I said, what you focus on the longest becomes the strongest. What that means is, when you start doing something and you focus on it, your mind will always look for things or ideas, inventory ideas to make it bigger. But once your mind is divided, today you are here, today you are there, another day you are doing something else, you may not be able to exploit the full potential of the initial business that you started because it needs your attention. And when you have divided attention, even the Bible itself talks, you cannot serve two masters at the same time. You lose one. So I will advise anybody who has passion in different things to first of all, focus on one thing. Let it grow. Let it be big. Let it grow to a level whereby it doesn't need your personal presence. Actually, you can give it to somebody else, then you go and start something else. You'll make your work easier. In fact, you will lower your stress levels. Imagine, yes, you are passionate about all of that, but in the morning, you are supposed to carry on like 3 or 4 meetings because you are diversifying. At the end of the day, you're going to have a lot of work, a lot of stress, and I can guarantee you 101%, you're going to get tired. And I'll not be surprised you lose all of those businesses.
So the secret is beginning small, getting strong, and then when you're ready on your feet, that's when you can diversify.
Exactly.
Now let's talk about keeping the promises you keep to your customers as a brand. How important is it as a brand? For example, you promised class, you promised comfortability. How do you keep that promise? I'll give an example. Let's say, for example, Bata shoes. They say that if you buy Tafis, it's a promise of quality, durability, strength, and all that. So every time you go to buy Tafis shoes for your child, you think of this shoes is going to stay for a long time. So how do you, as a brand, how do you maintain the promise you keep to your audience, and how do you manage, or how do you handle the counterfeits coming on your name? Because I've also seen that instance, for example, on social media, most influencers do their marketing through their maybe TikTok page, and then you find out that there are other counterfeit accounts that take all their videos and post on the other account. So it's like someone is sabotaging your brand. So how do you handle, or how do you move across around having to keep the promise you keep and managing counterfeits?
Every promise needs a keeper. Every promise needs a keeper. The fact that you cannot keep a promise, you're not supposed to be in business, because business is built on trust. Just like in any other industry, even on a personal level. Can you imagine if someone promised you something and they did not do it at the end of the day? Will you trust them?
No.
You cannot trust them. So many times, and I've seen this happening many times with business people, one of the things that is making them not to fulfill their promise is they are overwhelmed. They are overwhelmed. They are quite excited that, yes, I have traffic. Probably what you've been importing is of high quality. But because you have a lot of clients or a lot of orders, it's like, you're like, because I have a lot of orders and I do not want to lose these customers, I need this money, you compromise the quality for you to meet the immediate need. Only for the customers to go and get or receive what you did not present in the first place. So what happens? They lose trust in you. You lose credibility. It is better to handle that customer through excellent customer service, but explaining that, yes, we have the product, but will you be patient for 2 days, for 2 days, for 3 days, or for 1 week? Because you do not want to compromise the quality. Many people have fallen in that trap. I'll give a very good example. One of my friends one day was telling me that Jumia is selling very good AirPods. And I decided to buy for myself, and I'm sorry to say this, but this is the truth. This is a feedback even for them. What was delivered to me was not what I asked. I've never bought from them again. I've not bought from them again. No matter how beautiful they will package anything, first impression is always the last impression. So don't fall into that trap that because you have many orders, you compromise the quality. It is even better you serve 10 customers with quality service, with quality products, rather than serving 100 with less quality service or products. But looking into getting copy-paste of your brand, there are always guidelines, laws that guide that. Number one, if you do not have your business registered, someone can copy that name. Someone can run with that brand. If you do not have copyright for what you're selling, someone can easily run with that brand. So don't just go into social media because you have a beautiful name. Make sure you've followed all the procedures to protect yourself from damage. Because I have also known and realized with a lot of attention that business has been made to be very stiff competition. That instead of building healthy competition, it is building everyday unhealthy competition. That you have to do something negative for the other person who is in business for you to stand out, when it is not. Actually, we do not rise by pulling other people down. We rise by lifting others. But the fact that you are already in that industry and people are copy-pasting what you are doing, it means you do not have an original thing. Because if you are original, no one will do what you're doing. And that's why when we talked about the niche is something that is so different. You're offering something that is not in the market. And if you're doing something that other people are doing, of course, it could be there. But make sure you're offering something that nobody else is offering in the market. So that if someone else comes in the market and says that I'm offering the same product, they will doubt him. They will doubt her. But they can only do that if you yourself, you're not keeping the promise, you're not offering quality service, and your customer service is very poor. So they will not jargon around or think twice to move to the next person, no matter how fake they are.
Okay. Now, as we conclude this, what do you think? Oh, I wanted to ask something before we conclude about compromising your pricing. Like, for example, someone says, this thing, you've only spent 10 minutes. Why are you charging me this much? How do you deal with clients who try to bargain the pricing that you have as a brand?
It's about quality. If I go to the airport today, I will not complain about 500 liters of water being 1,500, and yet I can get it at 30 bob on the streets of Nairobi. I cannot complain about that one.
So the goal is to stand on business. Yes. Like, if you know your quality, just stand on business. Yes. This is my pricing. This is what I have. This is what I'm offering. If you're not onto the standard, then we go.
Actually, you see, in customer service, you cannot communicate like that. When you're telling the customer, in Swahili, people normally say, kama haufiki bei. But you see, yes, who told you that if today I cannot afford it, tomorrow I'll not afford it? Yes. So it happens many times when people feel like they have very quite expensive stuff. But you can only price your services or your products based on what you're offering. Even the way you've branded it, even the environment around it. You see, I can go and take dawa at Java at 500 shillings. The same quantity, I can get it at branch at 250 shillings. But look at the environment. Look at the quality of service. Look at them. Look at even the environment, the ambience around it. It speaks more. And therefore, I will not complain about the quality. So how do you communicate that to your customer? You don't just say, if you cannot be able to afford it, then you are out of my business. You sell the value. You don't sell the features. You sell the value. So how do you sell the value? You communicate how it is going to help the customer. Once they understand how, they will not have a problem buying that product. But if you only present it, many people don't know the product, but if you tell them how it will help them, they see the value, they see the need of buying it.
So the secret is solving a problem, and also quality of service, and how you speak and how you tell the story also matters. Yes. So as we conclude, Gamaliel, please share with us, what do you think is the future of personal branding in this digital age?
The future of personal branding is purpose. Is purpose. I cannot say much more or less than that. And allow me, I don't know how many more minutes I have.
Just continue.
Just I continue. Purpose is very important for you. Purpose sets you on a path of success. Purpose sets you on a path of victory every day. Unless you know your purpose, you will always be moving around, not knowing what to do, not knowing what to do next. And I think here is where now I discovered that indeed there is a gap in our society. In one of the programs I do is called the School of Identity. The School of Identity is helping people to know themselves and to understand what the world expects from them. Many times I've talked about this. God has never created anyone to come and loiter around and look for things that they need, actually. And when you read the Holy Book, you'll discover that everything has already been given. So the future of your brand is your purpose, because the purpose is everlasting. It's the original intention of God about you. And you see, God creates you to serve a need. So the fact that already God has built you to serve a need, it means that is already your brand. That's already your brand. But when you miss it from the initial stage, your brand will keep on changing. Your brand will keep on shifting, and you'll lose credibility. You'll lose that trust. Just to demystify on purpose, and I'll use a very simple, because you have a very beautiful phone. One of the things that the manufacturer of this phone did, he came with a purpose. The purpose was solving the need in the market. So the moment this phone stops to serve the purpose, the original intention of the manufacturer, it doesn't have credibility in the market. It has no reason for being. So your being, your brand, is your purpose. And you discover everything that this phone needs to be successful, to serve your needs, they are inbuilt in this phone. That means your phone doesn't have to depend on my phone for it to serve or for it to work effectively. As a matter of fact, that is just a manufacturer, a normal human being. They came with a purpose, they did a product, and then this is what they did. They gave you a warranty and a guarantee. In other words, they are telling you, we are 100% sure that what we are giving you is going to serve the need. For example, they will say that this phone can take a picture. How did they know? Until they tested it and they tried it. If they said that this phone can store up to 256 GB, how did they know? They tested and they told you that. So you realize even in the warranty, in the guarantee, and sometimes even you realize they always say, in case this phone has any defect, you give it to the authorized dealer or return it back to us and we'll repair it for free. All of that is not for you. It's for them. It's to protect their reputation. As I'm speaking to this, I know now you are picturing the brand. At the end of the day, I asked myself this question. If a human being could do that, what about God himself when he made me with his own likeness and his image on me? It means my success is more important to God than it is to me. Because if I do fail, it's the reputation of my manufacturer goes limited. So I want to encourage anybody who is out there that God created you with a purpose. And until you discover your purpose, you'll always be jungling around with different kind of brands. Your brand is in your purpose.
It's to stand out.
Always remember, whatever you focus on the longest becomes the strongest. At the end of the day, and I think this is what I'll finish on, I think even it was mentioned yesterday by my pastor. I posted something on my status yesterday. And I said that when you pour a bucket of water on a rock, nothing will happen. But if you drop a drop of water, a drop every day, within 30 days, it will create a hole. It is not about intensity. It is all about consistency. So for you to build a brand, you must be consistent. Do it every day. When you wake up, this is the niche I am following. This is what I want to pursue. Do it every day. My pastor reminded us one day, he said, he quoted Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee said that I do not fear a man who knows 1,000 kicks, but I fear a man who has practiced one kick
1,000 times.
1,000 times. You got it. That is the future of branding. Consistency.
Now, as you give us your closing remark, what was the biggest challenge you faced when building permanent success, and how did you overcome it? And what is your advice to upcoming persons who are building their brand as we conclude?
Yeah, yeah, that's a good question. I don't think I have faced much more challenges while building the brand. Of course, I know You are aware that I started this journey when I was still a university student. But one of the things that I have faced because of what I offer, many people look at my age and they think that I could not offer, and I have proven them wrong many times. Once I have the podium, when I have an opportunity to train them, they realize this guy knows something we don't know, and that's what I'm offering. However, that doesn't mean that if I do not have challenges, people do not have challenges. Challenges come to strengthen you, but not to stop you. I was giving a story the other day. We were out with my friend and we were participating in a run, awareness of something. And after the run, they were giving us free samosa and free coffee. So the queue was quite long. So I told my friend, let's go for coffee. And then he said that the queue is long. I said, free coffee, free samosa. He said, the queue is very long. Then I said, free samosa. Then I decided to go for it. So what happened was, I decided to greet anybody who looked at me suspiciously. Like, why is this guy skipping the queue? It's like, how are you? Good to see you. Nice to see you. I saw you running. And nobody questioned me until I got to where I got the coffee and the samosa. So this is what happens. Many people see the obstacles that prevent them from getting what they want. So at the end of the day, when you focus on the challenges, you will not achieve your goal. You will not achieve your vision. Challenges are there to strengthen you, to give you resilience. Because when challenges come, your mind should always be thinking about innovative ideas on how to keep on winning. But when you focus on the challenge, you lose.
You lose your focus.
Whatever you focus on the longest becomes the strongest. So keep on doing it. Be encouraged. And this is where we come in as mentors, as coaches. And you know, if you do not have a plan, you will definitely lose your way. If you don't know where you're going, challenges will come, they will sway you around, and you may not be able to achieve your goals. So challenges will be there, but keep high spirits.
Keep the focus.
Yes,
what a perfect way to end this discussion.
Yes.
Challenges will be there, but you need to focus. And also, something that you mentioned, which is very key, as a young person, if you are trying to build your brand or if you're trying to move up, there will be always a challenge of your age.
Yes.
And it happens in all fields. In media, it happens. In education, it happens. And sometimes I tell people, sometimes the easiest thing to do is to don't dress your age. Just dress like a bigger person.
Yes.
And sometimes the image counts. So that is it with the Gamaliel. Thank you so much for making time for us tonight. And before we conclude this discussion, oh God, it is this morning.
Yes. Yes, it's morning.
It's morning. We have a quick feedback here from Ephraim Malungu, who says, following sense here, he says there's a lot of sense that is
Ephraim Malungu is my brother.
Yes, he says there's a lot of sense that is right here on this morning show. And we want to tell you that there's a lot more our viewers can have. So you can give us where they can get you or where they can reach you out, your social media pages, or how they can reach you in case there's a corporate somewhere they want to have a session on public speaking or personal branding, or just a youth who is stuck somewhere and needs a mentor. Last week we were talking about the shortcut of careers or succeeding is to have a mentor.
Yes.
So maybe one can benefit from that. So as we conclude, before we take a short break, give us your socials, please.
Even before I give my socials, someone said even fools grow old. So age is not a matter. Yeah, you can always find me on my social media at Gamaliel Gerishom Malungu, and my brand is Permanent Success Consultancy. You can always reach out. We have very exciting products for any young person who looks toward becoming bigger than you are today. We have a group of mentors who can help you grow and can help you as well to focus on the niche that you are looking for, and you'll discover that you'll keep on growing. I don't know if it'd be appropriate for me to give my number.
Sure, you can.
Oh, sure. My name is my number is 0728 023 465, or you can write us an email at info@psctraining.co.ke. For us, we just focus on leadership and productivity and coaching as well. We've started a school, it's called the School of Identity, and this is all about awareness, helping you to know yourself, come up with a plan, and we give you free resources that will help you to achieve your goals and your dream. Welcome. We'll be very glad to have you, to host you, and to train you. Thank you, very important.
Thank you so much, Gamaliel. Now, coming up after this, a short break that you are going to take is going to be newspaper review. I'll be joined by OJWANG MARIAM and Blue Smile Hassan, who is our reporter here at KUTV. So stay tuned for the newspaper review that is coming up.
Jina langu naitwa Okemwa Mwokoa James.
This is Mandela Gaya.
Ugonjwa ulipokuja ulichukua siku 3 ukaniweka in coma. 20 wamezikwa, 2 ndio wako hai.
I don't even know how it feels to see.
I feel like I cannot express myself well the way somebody who can walk can actually express themselves.
Ilichukua muda mwingi mrefu tena mpana ili kuikubali kwamba mimi siwezi tembea tena.
I've come to actually accept myself.
Ukijaribu kumsimamisha mtu umwambie tafadhali nionyeshe njia,
they find it quite strange talking to you.
You should just make schools integrated,
inclusive setups,
by providing the right facilities.
Na uso wa jamii. Kupanda shuka, akawa tuzo. Ukakamavu wake, ukatii, na kumfanya mwenye bidii. Kwa machozi na makeke, akabaini jinsi ya kuwini. Huyu ni mwanamke ngangari, kwa jinsi alivyo ng'ari-ng'ari. Mimi ni mwanamke mwake. Usikose kutazama kipindi cha mwanamke mwake, nami Caroline Kimwell.
They are powerful and influential. They make decisions in politics, education, finance, agriculture, health, sports, and all aspects of human life. But the impact of their decisions falls on you, the common citizen. KUTV Primetime News Thursday. We ask bold questions and pursue answers to the core to bring you closer to the story. We couldn't have it any other way. Join me, Auma Evans, as I raise matters of social concern to raise your voice from the background to the foreground.
From the hospital corridors, we bring you experts to discuss issues affecting your health, from diet to mental health. The familiar and the ignored are both put into perspective. We then dive into the environment and look at the effects of climate change and its solutions. Join me, Mutegi K. Martin, every Friday at 9 p.m. as we learn on how to better our health while taking care of our environment. Only on KUTV.
Where we ask the coolest questions in science. Let's go! Is yogurt really just rotten milk? Why do humans need sharks to survive? How did a 12-year-old boy from Africa invent modern vanilla farming? How do you deliver medicine to a chimpanzee? Can poop be useful? How can you save the planet by reducing air pollution? To help us answer these questions, we are inviting some wonderful guests from the world of science. They will enlighten you, make you hungry for knowledge. Oxygenate your brain and make your ideas flow. This is Engine Season 3. Let's go!
Badala ya kutafuta kazi, tunaweza kuanzisha miradi yetu ambayo ingetusaidia kubadilisha maisha ya wazazi wetu.
Kwa vijana wenzangu, wengi wale hawana kazi, lakini ikiwa sisi wenyewe tutajiamini, tunaweza kujiajiri wenyewe.
Afrika kwa kweli tuna mahitaji ambayo ukiyasuluhisha unaweza kuathiri watu kwenye bara hili.
Bila woga, watu huwa na uzalishaji zaidi, wanajawa na ujasiri, wanakuwa wabunifu na wanakuwa wenye maarifa.
Niliamua kuacha kazi. Hata kama sitafanikiwa, nitakuwa nimejaribu, nitakuwa najua haiwezekani.
Hakuna kitu cha ajabu hapa. Kila anayepata ufanisi hufanya kazi usiku na mchana.
Kitu kitakusukuma na kuwezesha kupata maarifa ambayo hukuwa nayo.
Tunajaribu kutengeneza kitu kitakachopita mipaka ya nchi hii.
Ikiwa unataka kubadilisha ulimwengu, anza na nyumbani.
In a world where uncertainty rules and opportunities are scarce, it's time to break from the barrier and unlock your full potential.
We must live within our means. We cannot spend money that we don't have.
We will explore the fascinating world of investment, trade secrets, business strategies, and entrepreneurship.
Sasa challenges ziko mingi sana. Parking ya mzigo imekuwa mbaya. Unaweka pesa yako inakataa kurudi.
Whether you're a seasoned investor or just starting out, what you covered with invaluable insights to help you succeed.
Now, this year we have seen a rebound in the economy, which is well above the global average of the 3%.
Join me, Anyango Sylvia, every Sunday and Monday on KUTV News at 9, and let's turn your dreams into reality.
Imagine a world where you are empowered to take charge of your health, where you are well informed about the latest advancements in healthcare and understand the policies that impact your well-being. Get ready to take charge of matters your health as we bring you a blend of weekly health features that engage professionals from across various medical fields.
When do you decide as a patient, do I need to go see the doctor? We are at a stage where we are seeing all this manner of chronic illnesses and we wait until we get a disease and then is when we go ahead.
From the most mundane to the complexities that perhaps seem overwhelming, we got you covered.
In terms of the factors that might be attributed, there are hereditary factors that could be, that means it could be genetic, so that's one factor. But there are other factors as well, like nutritional deficiencies. So some vitamins, such as folate, have been identified to be a factor in those. So
our mission is to break down intricate health topics into understandable and actionable insights. Join me, Yvonne Kimuma, every Wednesday 9 p.m. on KUTV's News at 9, where your health is our priority.
Access to knowledge, solution to unanswered questions.
Guidelines to pursuing your rights and repossessing your property, intellectual or material.
This and more only on Law Matters.
right, welcome back to Biashara Tuesday this morning. We've just had an interesting conversation on personal branding, and if you've missed it, remember it was coming to you live on YouTube at KUTV Kenya. You can also follow up because we're still live. You can just move back and get a look at it, or you can continue with us as we finish. You go back and check on it because it has all been recorded. And at this moment, I am joined by OJWANG MARIAM and Blue Smile Hassan. I was with OJWANG MARIAM, so there's no need of doing an introduction again. But for Blue Smile, please give us a quick introduction.
Naam, shukran sana. Kwa majina naitwa Blue Smile Hassan. Mimi ni reporter na pia mimi ni nahodha wa Mizizi Weekend hapa katika runinga KU.
Hey, Kiswahili is going to kill us this morning, OJWANG.
Kiswahili is the national language of Kenya. Look at your katiba well, and you will note that it is written that the national language of Kenya is Swahili. But when it comes to official languages, you can use Kiswahili and English.
But mtaniruhusu, I know Kiswahili is
it's your show. It's a show. By the way, I loved the conversation with Garisham, and I was
he says he wanted me not to say Garisham. He said it's Garisham.
Yeah, it's Garisham. It's Garisham. I got to know Garisham because we were in school together. He was my classmate. I was their representative in Dr. Gakuo's class, Kiswahili. He was doing Kiswahili theory, and I was doing Kiswahili history. So unatembea hivi unapata, yeah, classmates are doing good.
Classmates are doing good.
That's real connection.
Okay. We are now let's get straight into our newspaper review. Today, let's begin with the dailies. There's a lot of politics going around in the country. There's a lot of 2027 political jitters going on in the country. So we'll be looking at that, but also there's a lot of questions on the health, cancer awareness, and on to business daily. We have a lot. But first, let's begin with the Daily Nation. And they have the biggest headline they have is Rest Against Time. And on this, we are seeing the photos of the newly appointed who was sworn in IEBC
selection
panel who are supposed to be selecting the commissioners of the IEBC. It's a good morning where we are having it's a good day for Kenya where we are having hope for the 2027 election. So let's begin with you, OJWANG. What's your opinion about this new selection?
They have this new panel have 90 days to ensure that they have given us a chairperson for IEBC and members of the IEBC. The parliament may, however, extend their term of kutafuta our nini. There have been criticism all over because of the selection panel. Remember, this selection panel haikuundwa jana. It has been there, imekuwa na mirundiko ya kesi kotini. And some of the things now zinakuja ni mambo kuhusu na Professor Adams Olo. Professor Adams Olo was appointed as a advisor to the president, and now he's the same person who has been appointed to select the referee. So people are feeling like there is no fair play in that. Again, some communities are feeling like we are not represented. If you look at the 9 members as they are on the Daily Nation, there is no member from Kikuyu. We have 2 members from Kambas. We have 2 members from Rift Valley region, that is Bore and Keplangat and Olo now. That distribution of who will help us get a referee has been raising concerns, but Kenyans at all are still happy. They appreciate the fact that all they need is IEBC. It doesn't matter who is the chair of IEBC. What matters is that we have an independent electoral and boundaries commission in Kenya.
Coming to Blue Smile, what's your opinion about the new selection?
Kusema kweli, unajua mchakato huu ni mchakato ambao ulikuwa umengojwa sana kwa hamu na gamu. Unapata kwamba kulikuwa na ile mihemko ya kisiasa, watu wanasema kwa nini IBC haijatengenezwa mpaka sasa. Na ukiangalia katika yani mchakato huu wote, kila mtu yasema kwamba tuko hata ni race against time, kwa sababu sasa ni mwaka wa 3 unaelekea wa 4 na bado hatuna IBC commission. Na kile ambacho kimetengenezwa ni ile wale marefari ambao watakuwa wanachagua ma IBC, wale ma commissioners wa IBC. Kwa hivyo mimi yangu ni imani kwamba kutakuwa na usawa, tutapata ma commissioners wazuri, kwa sababu ukiangalia kwamba malalamiko ni mengi. Ukiangalia kama OJWANG ametueleza kuhusu ile watu wote hawajijumuishwa, jamii zote Kenya hazijajumuishwa katika mchakato huu. Lakini ukiangalia pia upande wa Wiper wanasema kwamba wapo sawa, wanataka commissioners ndio waanze, kama kuna watu ambao wanataka kurecall MPs waanze kurecall. Ukiangalia upande wa rais naye yasema kwamba tayari ndio wamepeleka yale majina kwa parliament na jana yakaapishwa na Jaji Koome. Kwa hivyo licha kwamba kuna zile sintofahamu ama zile tashwishi ndogo ndogo, Wakenya wapo na imani kwamba hili jopo la watu ambao watachagua commissioners litafanya kazi nzuri na litawapa Wakenya kile ambacho wamekuwa kitafuta, kwa sababu ukiangalia hata wale vijana wa Gen Z wanangoja sana kwa ari jopo hili lililete commissioners ndio waanze ile shughuli ya kurecall MPs ambazo zimekuwa kiendelea katika mitandao ya kijamii. Kwa hivyo ni jambo ambalo tutafaa tungoje tuangalie tuone kama litafikaje, lakini kwetu ni imani kwamba wale ambao watakuwa wanachaguliwa pale watakuwa ni watu ambao hawatakuwa wanategemea upande wote. Wasitegemea upande ambao ni wale ambao hawasupporti serikali na wasitegemea upande wa serikali. Kuwe na usawa.
Wakati huu tunapozungumza MPs wanafaa wakuwe wameshtuka.
Alafu pia licha ya kwamba kuma MPs watakuwa nafaa kushtuka, kuna maeneo bunge matatu ambayo haja uchaguzi wao ulisitishwa kwa njia moja ama nyingine. Kwa hivyo kwa sasa mwaka wa 3 maeneo bunge matatu hayana mbunge. Kwa hivyo ni jambo ambalo linafaa litiwe maanani haraka, kwa sababu kuna vitu kama CDF maeneo bunge matatu nchini Kenya hajapata CDF. Basaries za CDF hawajapata. Kwa hivyo hata wajua walalamikia nani. Wale watu wakisema reject, sijui recall, wale wajamaa hawakuwa na watu. Vitu kama hivyo.
So it's a good day, and I'm also hopeful that something is going to come out of this, and I can say that before our leaders were relaxed because what are you going to do? At the moment there is something we can do. If the commissioners are selected and we have a functional IEBC that is independent and free and fair. It's one thing having IEBC, and it's also another thing having an independent election body. Now, still on hope for the 2027 election. Right here on dailies, there is a headline where it says, "Will dethrone Ruto and deliver Kenyans from high taxes," says Gachagua. That is a story on the dailies, that is on page 8. And this follows a meeting that was held yesterday where DAP Kenya was having the headquarters in Nairobi. And the meeting included Kalonzo Musyoka, Wiper leader, DAP Kenya leader, that is Eugene Wamalwa, and Gachagua, who at the moment does not have a party. So Blue Smile. What do you think about this new coalition of a DAP, or do I call it DAP, this new anti-government coalition that is intended to oust Ruto, to make Ruto a one-term president?
Na mimi mwenyewe nimefuatilia kwa makini vile vitu ambavyo vinaendelea. Ukiangalia sana ni watu wote ni kama watu wote ambao hawako kwa serikali wanaungana against mtu mmoja, William Ruto. Na ni mambo ambayo yametokea katika historia ya siasa hapa Kenya. Wakati wa Tutu viongozi wote walitoka KANU wakafanya ile grand coalition ili mtoe Moi katika mamlaka ambayo alikuwa amekuja na Uhuru Kenyatta. Ni vitu ambavyo vinarudia. Kwa hivyo ni siasa ambayo ni kama siasa mara nyingi huwa inajirudia. Lakini kitu ambacho kilishangaza wengi ama sisi ambao tunapenda siasa ilitufurahisha ama ilituongeza ile ashasha kidogo, ni kumuona Gachagua amerudi kwa Kalonzo hadharani. Ametoka Paruanja akatangaza kwamba yeye Kalonzo na Wajujin wa Malwa pamoja na Fred Matiang'i akirepresentiwa pale na Senator Unchaka kwamba hao wameunda kama mrengo mmoja wa kisiasa. Ni kweli kwamba ukiangalia Gachagua aliongea mambo mengi kuhusu serikali, aliongea ni mambo ambayo Gachagua tumezoea akiongea. Lakini sasa yeye kuungana na hawa viongozi wengine kidogo nilileta tashwishi kwa sababu ni viongozi ambao kwa upande wa siasa hawapo vizuri sana, kwa sababu siasa unajua ni mchezo mwingine ambao uongozi ni sawa, lakini siasa ni mchezo ambao nilikuwa nasoma kupitia magazeti kuna mmoja alikuwa ameandika opinion kwamba siasa is a game of the masters. Kwa hivyo unapata wale vigogo wa kisiasa ndio ambao wanajua mchezo wa siasa vizuri, lakini wale ambao wanaingia labda wapelekesha vibaya. Lakini pia unajua hatufai kuunderrate Gachagua. Kwa sababu pia yale maneno vile vitu ambavyo Gachagua amefanya kwa muda toka alipotoka ofisini ni vitu ambavyo wengi wetu hatukutarajia kwamba vitakuwa, na ni vitu ambavyo labda kama anavyosema vinamkosesha rais usingizi. Hiyo hayo ni maneno ya Gachagua, si maneno yangu. Kwa hivyo wale vitu ambavyo amesema Gachagua ama amefanya kwa ule muda mfupi ambao umefanyika ni amefanya makubwa sana, na ni kama hakuna numbers tukiangalia sana mlimani. Sasa hatujui huu muungano wake na kina Kalonzo utakuwaje, lakini kile kitu ambacho hakieleweki ni kama Gachagua atasimama urais ufikapo mwaka 2027 kwa sababu pia kesi yake iko chini. Hatuelewi kama Gachagua pia atasimama atasupport mtu alafu yeye kama Mlima wewe ndo ana bargain kwa sababu ya Mlima. Lakini kile kitu ambacho naweza sema nikimalizia ni kwamba Gachagua akona influence ambao watu wengi hawakuwa nadhani akona influence. Nimeona Kindiki amejaribu kuita watu Karen, lakini kidogo ni kama wa Munyoro iko busy sana kuliko hata Ikulu.
Munyoro imekuwa kama state house ndogo. And reading from what you are saying and reading from what Blue Smile is saying, ukioanisha hizo story zote, what the Standard are saying is still a unison voice, bare knuckled. So the Standard are saying politics, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, in a scathing attack on President William Ruto, has claimed he presides over corruption at State House and that a new coalition will be crafted to ensure he is a one-term president. Anaongeza anasema, and I quote, State House is the real center of corrupt activities. Mr. President, look for a mirror and look at yourself first before you talk about corruption. Huyu ni mtu ambaye amefanya kazi kama mwendani wa rais. Umesema kuhusu watu kufikiria ni kama hana influence. In 2022, no one believed that Rigathi Gachagua could help Ruto secure votes in Mount Kenya. But kwa debate, something happened. The debate between Martha Karua and Rigathi Gachagua. People were saying, this guy is not a smart man. This is a village man. He doesn't know anything. In that debate, that guy did some training. He came sharp, smart, and with the family. He delivered. Ama haku deliver.
Alideliver.
When we went to the poll, he went all over Mount Kenya, including Kirinyaga, and beat the other coalition, the Azimio coalition, led by Raila Odinga and Martha Karua. Even in Martha Karua's backyard. It's still the same person who they are saying is mouthy has been made idle. Wacha niseme hivi na nisikue misquoted juu ni kitu kiko. An idle mind is the devil's workshop. So saizi Kenyans have shifted from listening to Edgar Obare, Andrew Kithe, who else? And they are listening, they are waiting for Rigathi Gachagua.
Yeah.
The president went to Western before giving the bonus to sugarcane farmers. They talked about Rigathi and how he's incompetent and how he's corrupt and how he's tribal. But when Rigathi went there, he told them this. He is using the same stories. He came to our place and told us, Gayarogo shu, That means praise be to God. We listened to him and he lied to us. Si hata nyinyi mnajionea. And he went ahead to remind these people that hata nyinyi msipokuwa werevu mtakuwa mnalia kama sisi bado. That is decampaigning someone. Blue Smile has talked about coalitions and being there. During the last regime, President Uhuru Kenyatta used to parade Raila Odinga, Musalia Mudavadi, Kalonzo Musyoka. It's a bad strategy. We are at a place where we need everyone to rise up, and if you are in a position to claim the presidency, you claim it. But wakiungana hivyo, watu wanapata narrative ya kuwapiga vizuri. Watu wanasema Fred Matiang'i, as fronted by Richard Onyonka, Kisii senator, who is an ODM member of parliament. Watu na wao wanasema hapana, Rivayala Matiang'i. Wanatokea hapo hivyo wanasema then Martha Karua ameachana na chama chake cha National Rainbow Coalition NARC. Akona chama kipya, People's Liberation Party. Sema hapana, yule mama kura napataga kwao ni mbili tu. Atakuwaje president? But it's still a good thing.
It's a good thing because
we have the likes of Okia Omtata. Mizani Africa gave out a poll for people to vote on X or Twitter, which is a very big platform that made Joe Biden go home. US president. Na hii ni Kenya kakitu kadogo tu. In that poll, President Ruto had 20%. That is very big. Kalonzo Musyoka had 9%. Fred Matiang'i had 35%. Okia Omtata had 35%. If that is not sending a message to the current regime to work better, they will surely be what they are calling on the dailies a one-term president. It's a force yenye ni big. Saa hizi ikifika 2027, all these people who are fighting watakuwa washaacha na waseme kitu moja. We are either following this way or this way. Kabisa.
Lakini Ojwang, hata tukiangalia kuhusu
just before you continue, if we look, Ojwang is talking about different leaders or different parties aligning. You know, in the previous years, in the previous elections, we've only had two strong competitors. That is Raila Odinga and another competitor. But at this time, it's getting a little complicated because we are having several leaders who are saying hata mimi naweza kuwa president, hata mimi naweza kuwa president. And what does it say about this 2027 political you mentioned earlier that politics is about the masters, and Ruto in his meetings he says hata wewe umekuja jana. You know how he says these things. So what do you think is it for, how do you think this is changing the political landscape of Kenya?
Kusema kweli ni jambo ambalo sisi sote tutaka kungoja tuone kutakuwaje. La pili ni kwamba kuna tashwishi ambayo ama ni mgogoro ambao unakuja ambapo ukiangalia watu wengi wameungana wanatafuta kiongozi, kila mmoja anataka kuwa rais. Kama Ojwang alivyosema, kuna Matiang'i, kuna Rigathi ambaye pia labda kesi yake hatujui mahakama itaamua nini. Pia tuna Omtata, tuna Eugene Wamalwa, kuna viongozi wengi, hata Kalonzo mwenyewe yupo pale ndani. Kwa hivyo wale viongozi kutakuwa na mgogoro, kwa sababu huu mgogoro ambapo watu wengi wanajaribu kuwasiongelee ulikuwa hata wakati wa 2002. Pale Raila akaamua kusimama na Kibaki. Watu wengi walikuwa wanataka kusimama. Lakini sasa hii ukiangalia zile zitoaje hizi characters za wale watu ambao katika huu muungano, ambao kuna mtu kama Rigathi. Ni mtu ambaye si kwa ubaya, lakini huwa ni mtu ambaye anataka kitu chake kie mlima kwanza. Na ni si mtu rahisi kuingia naye katika makubaliano. Watu kama Kalonzo mara nyingi amekuwa akiachwa nyuma sana. Kwa hivyo yeye atakuwa na imani kwamba huu ndo mwaka wake. Kwa sababu hata ukisikia katika mazungumzo ya Kalonzo anasema if I'm president nitasign executive orders once I get to power. Wote hivyo wale jamaa wengine waseme Kalonzo wewe na huna influence. Itakuta kwaje? Kwa sababu most of the time wakati wa Moi ni mimi ni mgeni katika ulingo wa siasa, kwa sababu mimi ni mtu wa 2000s. wakati wa Moi watu wanasema kwamba Moi alikuwa anapenda kutumia ile divide and rule. Na kidogo rais naye siko baya, lakini mwanafunzi wa Moi hatojua atatumia mpango gani. Lakini ni vitu ishaanza kusikia mambo mlimani, mambo ya
mlimani umegawanyika,
mlima umegawanyika,
western kumegawanyika, Nyanza
kumegawanyika. Kwa hivyo yeye ni kwa sababu rais pia ni mtu ambaye hafai kuwa underrated katika mchezo wa siasa sana, kwa sababu ni mtu ambaye ana uzoefu. Kwa sababu watu hata ukiangalia mara nyingi watu hawajui rais atafanya nini. Watu wanangoja rais afanye nini ndio akiongelee. Hakuna mtu alikuwa anajua kama rais ataungana na Raila. Sasa hii watu hawakuwa wanajua kama rais ataenda kupeana bonuses Mumias, na kidogo watu wa Mumias wanaona kama wanamfurahia rais. Kwa hivyo rais ni mtu ambaye akiamua vitu ambavyo viamua mara nyingi huwa vina influence sana nchini, kwa sababu hata kama yeye akiamka tu aende pahali, yeye ni rais. Hata safari zake za ndege yeye ni rais. Kwa hivyo hata kama kuna zile watu kadhaa wanasema hivi na hivi, lakini yeye kama rais hakuna hiyo influence. Kwa hivyo yeye hakuna influence na kile ambacho kitakuwa kina happen kwa kambi ya opponents wake. Kwa hivyo sisi kutakuwa kila ambacho mimi naona kutakuwa na vitu vingi ambavyo vitakuwa vinaendelea katika kambi ya upinzani sana, kwa sababu watu wameungana. Kila mtu anataka hiki. Mtakubaliana, huyu anataka rais, huyu anataka naibu wa rais, huyu anataka cabinet secretaries wangapi. Alafu unajua si Kenya si mambo ya cabinet secretary, kuna ma PSs. Kuna pale ambao watasema watakuwa wanagombania ugombeanaji, kwa sababu kama Nairobi wanasema sisi tunafaa tulete governor mmoja, wengine wanasema governor anafaa awe mtu wetu. Kwa hivyo kuna vitu vingi ambavyo vinafaa viangaliwe pale, ambavyo wasipokuwa makini watajivunja wenyewe kwa wenyewe.
Having in mind that our president has never lost an election. Since he was an MP. So on is it
the interesting facts on the same. One, you can never teach an old dog new tricks. President Ruto is a student of Moi, as Blue Smile Hassan says. But when was that? In the 90s. Blue Smile himself was not born. If Moi was doing all manner of gargling, torturing people in the Nyayo house, abducting people, kuongea ukweli wa Mungu, can cheat, can die, Blue Smile Hassan did not experience. So you cannot use the same tactics on him and everyone else who was born after 2000. And these are the people who are being called the Gen Zs, the young people of this country. And they will rise up. They don't know Moi, they know Ruto. The question will be, what has Ruto done to them? Their parents are full of fear. Saa hizi utapata mzee anaumia, wewe kama mwanahabari muulize shida ni gani. Lakini kwa sababu aliona mama wa 61 years akikuwa abducted kwa sababu aliuliza maswali kuhusu SHA na yeye ni medical practitioner, huyu mzee ambaye ni baba mboga ama mama mboga, yeye ataogopa kuongea. Ameshika. But for Blue Smile Hassan, yeye hataogopa juu yeye hajui Moi, hajui huu ubaya wa Ruto. Ruto amekuwa rais mara ya kwanza. And it's also brings me to the next point, that when you look at the poll, nilikuwa nimesema ya mizani, Ruto 20%, Kalonzo 9%, hawa wawili wamewahi kusimama. Listen to this. Dr. Fred Matiang'i has never contested for a presidential seat. Okia Omtata is a first-time independent senator for Busia, but he still got 35%. The quest for fresh blood to leaders is still guiding Kenyans. The quest and the pain of young generation and their parents and parents above them will still guide people during the 2027 general elections. It's too early for people to say that Ruto will carry the day or something like that. Ruto was hard on top of a car saying that munahara mapema. The point that he should know is that pia yeye yako kwa same boat. It is saddening. Or you can also tell me, you guys, what would you do when you open your social media and see the kind of hate and anger on faces, brains, and hands of Kenyans tweeting and posting photos of you dead or assimilated to be dead. Other photos are photos of a presidential figure who is being buried and his family around him. That hate cannot go away. In an era we say that internet never forgets. It will resurface. Uliza wazazi mashinani. Uliza kwanza mzazi mtoto wake get abducted. Uliza mzazi mtoto wake ameaga. Utachagua Ruto. It doesn't matter the region they come from. So in 2027 it's going to be different. We have new candidates. Let's look at that. Na wewe ukifika hapo hivyo usiangalie, all politics is local. Ukisikia mtu anakuambia Kalonzo hana influence, mwambie it's the same Kalonzo who garnered 2.5 million votes from Western using Wiper Democratic Party in the basket of Raila Odinga. Kila mtu akona influence kwao. Ndio maana unaona viongozi wote wanaungana. Watu wasidharauliane.
The challenge is the people who are vocal, we see it on social media. But if you get to the ground, look at the numbers on Ruto's rally. Look at the people who are showing up. You know, the people at home, they only know Ruto as someone, what he says or what they hear on news is what they hear. But these other things on social media, they hate, it's us youths who get to hear it. But now the problem comes in when it comes to voting. And that's why the opposition is really pushing for youths to get to the ballot. Now, as we look at that also, on the Standard, the Central Kenya fears return of Mungiki gang. And it's due to the residents in the region feel the recent political developments are an indication the dreaded youth could be regrouping to make their lives hell. Luisman, what do you think about this?
Kwanza kabisa mimi kama Mkenya singependa turudi katika zile zama za Mungiki. Kwa sababu zile zama za Mungiki zilikuwa ni zama mbaya sana, watu walipoteza maisha. Kwa hivyo mimi kama Mkenya mwenyewe sifurahii mambo kama hayo. Jambo la pili ni kwamba kumekuwa na tabia ambayo magwenge ya kigaidi yamekuwa yakitumiwa na wanasiasa. Si Mungiki peke yake. Kulikuwa na story ambayo Yvonne Kemoma alifanya juzi, ilikuwa inaongea kuhusu Kipchumba Murkomen akisema kwamba magenge wote wale ambao wanafadhili magenge ya uhalifu kwa jina la kisiasa watakamatwa. Ukiangalia basi walitaja mambo yao kwanza Mombasa, wakataja magenge ambayo yako katika vitongoji kando pekee. Kwa hivyo jinsi tunavyojadili kuhusu Mungiki, tusijadili tu mlimani peke yake, tujadili kuhusu mambo mengine, kwa sababu Mungiki labda hao ndio wanajulikana sana kwa sababu hao ndio wana sauti, kwa sababu yale madhila ambayo wamefanyia wananchi ni mengi, lakini bado kuna magenge ambayo yanaendelea wizi. Sasa hiyo ukipinga mwanasiasa fulani, labda anatumwa wale magenge anakuja kukutishia. Kwa sababu labda wewe huna jina, hujulikani Kenya. Ama huna kiongozi ambaye anaweza kukusemea. Kwa hivyo wewe utahisi kwamba labda sawa acha niteseki, lakini kwa sababu Mungiki wana kiongozi ambaye ana sauti, ambaye anaweza wasemea. Kwa hivyo haifai kwa hivyo, yani magenge yote nafaa yatambarizwe na yasiwe katika nchi ya Kenya. Jambo tukiangalia sasa katika mlima, kwa sababu ni mambo ya kisiasa sana. Ukiangalia kwamba yule ambaye analia sana kuhusu Mungiki, wale gazeti ukisoma utasikia ni Rigathi Gachagua analia vile. Na pia Mwangi wa Iria vile alikuja akasema kwamba Gachagua anaunda kundi lilitwalo Itugati, kundi ambalo linafananishwa na Mau Mau. Kwa hivyo licha kwamba ni ukweli kwamba Mungiki walikuja kuharibu ile, sijui kama ni kuharibu, acha nisiseme misinformation, walikuja katika ile ibada ambayo Pastor Dokas alikuwa amekuja, walikuja tuseme kwa njia ya vurugu kidogo, lakini hatuna ile usemi kusema kwamba wale jamaa tayari wameanza madhila. Wale ambao tuambiwa ni tunaelezewa na Rigathi Gachagua ndio anasema kwamba Mungiki walienda hapa, Mungiki alienda pale, lakini as long as yanasemwa huenda kwamba yapo, kwa sababu Swahili wanasema kwamba alisemwa ndio lipo. Lakini kwa maoni yangu ni kwamba licha kwamba hizi siasa zote zinazofanywa, lakini tusifanye siasa kwa damu. Tusifanye siasa kwa damu. Tuwe wanasiasa wastaarabu. Kama umeshindwa, kubali umeshindwa. Tafuta njia zingine za kuwadanganya wananchi ama kuwaliwaza wananchi, lakini tusiingie kwa sababu hii nchi tutaichoma. Na ukiangalia pande zote kulingana na jinsi ambavyo pande zote nazisikia. Rigathi Gachagua yeye mwenyewe ndo alikemea genge la Mungiki. Ukisikia Rais Ruto aliposimama kule akawaambia wa Kenya waache kutengeza picha za watu ambao katika mazishi watu ambao wamekufa, wasingiza wanasiasa katika masanduku. Mwenyewe alisema kwamba mkiendelea kufanya jambo hili mtatupeleka kwa leo umeniweka mimi rais, kesho utaweka rafiki yako, kesho kuto utaweka mtu mwingine, alafu kutakuwa na vita. Ukisikia tu ukimnuku vizuri utasikia kwamba yule jamaa rais anasema kwamba hataki vita. Tusiende katika mrengo kwa sababu kutakuwa na vita. Kwa hivyo hata wewe rais kwa upande wake hataki vita. Ndio maana wakati wa Gen Z walileta wale wanajeshi ku make sure kwamba hakuna vitu vina escalate more. Kwa hivyo hata yeye rais kulingana na jinsi anavyoonekana hataki vita. Upande mwingine wa Rigathi na wengine hawataki vita. Kwa hivyo mbona tuende katika mrengo wa Mungiki sisi kama wa Kenya?
Okay. Blue Smile has raised a very good point, Ojwang, that it's not just about the Mungiki, it's about the nationwide gangs that are running this country. And if you hear clearly, if you are close to people in the political space, most of them say you cannot be a politician without having goons.
Yeah.
I'll not say all of them, but most of them happen to have goons. Even Joho said that nitawaitia wangu. Most politicians are goons. So what do you think about this?
First of all, I am a diplomatic man. I love diplomacy. I love we sit, we formulate this, and it works. Not violence. Sipendi violence hata kidogo. Some people may mistake that because of maybe my body size. Seme hii ako kamwili yako nikakutorokea vita. But it's because I understand reasoning ni better than kupigana. Tutapigana na kesho tutarudi hapo kwa reasoning. It is not only Rigathi Gachagua who is crying about the insurgents of Mungiki. A woman quoted on the 5th page of the Standard from Murang'a, her name is Jane Kiago, says, as women who witnessed the horrors of Mungiki, we pray to God to thwart any efforts to revive it. Some women were even forcibly circumcised to align with their beliefs. She is a woman. Blue Smile said anaweza ogopa isikuwe misinformation. What really happened at the meeting, the prayer meeting of Pastor Dorcas Rigathi Gachagua, which Maina Jenga graced as a person mwenye anataka kuomba, there were fracas. Women will feel fear when men start being masculine about even matters that involve God. Wacha tuombe tuende. Saa hizi inasemekana nani anapea Maina Jenga this power? It is the current deputy president. By the way, the former deputy president stands impeached. Smiles. There is nowhere he can run for president as at now, according to our constitution. He was impeached in the National Assembly. He was impeached in the Senate. He lost a case. And now we are talking about appeals and cases challenging the legitimacy of Professor Kithure Kindiki. Now, Kithure Kindiki needs support from Mount Kenya. He goes for Maina Jenga. It is said that Maina Jenga was a soul who converted to Paul ati saa hizi yeye ni bishop. Umeshika. But wamama bado wanaogopa. Wanasema twice beaten, once shy. Again, let us stop making this a Mount Kenya issue. That you can go to other regions and say that Mount Kenya wako na Mungiki. Utapata wakisi wakialign washikane. Nasemekana those people are woke. Waluo wakialign washikane. Those people are woke. Wakikuyu wakifanya makosa waonge. Those people are tribal. When will we as a country unite? When will we as a country say enough is enough? Kuongea ukweli wa Mungu, can cheat, can die. Everyone is feeling the pinch. Check at the business daily. Right now, civil servants are decrying. They are crying that their pay slips are slashed. There are other people wenye wao walikuwa wamezoea kukulaga lunch ya free. Wanaitwa wanajeshi. Sasa wameambiwa vile wa Kenya wengine lunch ikifika wanainama. Either muiname ama mjinunulie chakula. Are those happy people or not happy people? No one is happy at the current state we are in. Hawa wanalia kuhusu pesa ni civil servants. What about the unemployed back in our communities?
And most of them are even opting to leave employment.
Yeah.
Because if your salary is slashed to almost a half of it,
Bas.
then you're like, why am I working? Where am I going to work? All
Imagine.
you do is wake up, go get your salary, pay rent, buy food, and the cycle begins again. You get to borrowing again.
Bas, ndio maana utaona Western 180 million shillings was splashed to the President Ruto's tour. Wewe uko jobless. Umesikia Ruto anakuja. Na kila mtu anaenda kuona Ruto analipwa. Umeshika? Si utaenda tu. I would urge everyone. Wewe ukisikia mwanasiasa anatokea na anapeana pesa, please kula. Mbona ulale njaa ati Ruto anakuja na unamchukia na utaki kukula hizo pesa? I had another bishop saying mimi nikipewa pesa sitarudisha. But when it comes to ballot, siasa hainaga deni. Si hata baba 2022 Azimio niulize, by the way, I was a chief campaigner in Jubilee Party. Kila mahali watu walikuwa wamejaa. Hata saizi baba akitokea watu watajaa hapa pote. Raila Odinga is one man who can pull crowds even without paying them. But these crowds don't necessarily translate to votes. Mtu asichochwe. Meshika. So numbers zinaweza kuwa mingi but hakuna votes. Yeah.
So it's quite unfortunate because even as we speak about our pay slips, or not our pay slips, if we speak about pay slips being chopped off, at the same time we have Treasury CS announcing that there will be tenders awarded, tenders for provision of choppers to facilitate government or politicians moving from one place to another. Have you seen that one?
And Mayona? Because
they're saying for efficiency and all that. What do you think about this? At a time when we saw last year President Ruto saying that we must, and I quote him because I've lived with that, we must live within our means. And when government employed people are complaining of lacking money in their accounts, schools complaining of lack of capitation, even as that now the treasury is being blamed. I see that on the Standard, is it Standard or Daily? They are complaining that the capitation is not yet released to schools. But as this happens, we're also seeing the government giving tenders for hiring of choppers. What do you think about that?
Kwanza kabisa wacha niwakumbushe kidogo, kuna tukio ambalo lilitokea juzi. Hili tukio lilikuwa ni kuhusu senator, majority leader wa Senate alienda mazishini na kaland na chopa katika ile harakati, kwa sababu ile uwanja ulikuwa mdogo. Katika ile harakati ni kama aliland vibaya, matent zikaharibika nini na nini. Kwa hiyo mimi kwanza chopa naona ni unnecessary, kwa sababu inategemea kama ni pale tunaenda zile asal areas ambazo labda kuna shida huwezi fika kule, ama mara zingine kuna magaidi ambao labda watafanya usalama wako utakuwa vyema, basi ni vizuri tu prioritize kwenda kule. Lakini pale ambapo labda wewe unaweza enda na gari, unajua magari yao yanapewa mafuta mengi sana, mafuta ya bigali na pesa zetu za ushuru. Kwa hivyo tusiseme hili ama tuchukue, tusiwe watu ambao ni vigeugeu, tukisema kitu tukifuate. Kwa sababu vitu kama hivi ndivyo ambavyo vinaleta ile joto na zinaleta ile hasira kwa vijana hasa ambao wameamka kipolitikia. Ukiangalia tena ukiangalia tena vitu ambavyo vingine ambavyo vinaudhi ni jinsi ambavyo ni bado hiyo serikali bado vinaudhi, kwa sababu ukiangalia walimu wanalia, wanasema kwamba ile pesa ambayo mwatupa sisi kama principals ni pesa kidogo. Ukiangalia kwamba kuna rising cost ambayo inaongezeka kwa sababu masomo mnatufund kama masomo ya 3 years ago 5 years ago, na sasa mambo yanabadilika. Vitu ambavyo tunanunua kama sisi kama shule, vitu vinaongezeka bei, lakini bado pesa mnayotupa ni ile ile. Ukiangalia vitu kama hivyo, kwa hivyo badala hii pesa ipelekwe huko kwa chopa, ipelekwe kwa vitu ambavyo vitasaidia Mkenya, kwa sababu huu ndio mwaka ambao rais amesema kwamba atajenga barabara. Huu ndio mwaka ambao rais anasema kwamba atatimiza zile ahadi ambazo watu wengi wanasema ni za uongo. Kwa hivyo kama rais anamaanisha anachosema, asifanye mambo ambayo yanakarisisha watu. Labda wanasiasa, unajua wanasiasa, kitu ambacho OJWANG kinatusikitisha ni kwamba wanasiasa wote, mambo ambayo yanahusu wanasiasa. Leo kukuwa na hoja bungeni iseme kwamba wanasiasa wanafaa waongezwe mshahara. Wabunge wote watatokea. House itakuwa full. Wanataka pesa iongezwe. Lakini maneno ambayo yanahusu Mkenya hawaongei. Lakini wao ndio kipaumbele wakisema kwamba serikali ifanye hivi, serikali ifanye hivi. Kwa sababu kitu kama hichi ambacho ni wanasiasa, unasikia basi mbunge amenyamaza. Yeye hataongea kwamba hata kiunga mkono, lakini atanyamaza kwa sababu anajua kitapitishwa. Lakini hivi ndio vitu ambavyo wabunge tunataka wajitokeze. Waseme kwamba kama ni chopa ambayo yatakana pahali ambapo mtu anaweza na gari aende na gari. Kama pale ambapo chopa zipunguzwe tu idadi ya chopa, ziwe zinaangalia zile areas ambazo ni mbali, ambazo lazima chopa iende. Kwa hivyo mimi maoni yangu na ni kwamba serikali iache kukasirisha Wakenya.
Joang, what do you think about these chopper issues? Because because when we look at responses, military, do you think they are supposed to focus this? Like, do you think there is just misappropriation of funds and misappropriation of policies?
The Daily Nation are talking about it's race against time. It's the same thing. How do you save time? Unataka kuingia kwa looting spree, bado unataka upige campaign, gari ya yezi bro. Ni chopa. But now the question comes, how much does an MP get paid? How much does a CS get paid? How much does a senator, governor, PSs get paid? So that then we go back to the taxpayers' money to buy choppers for them. Kenyans here are struggling to buy simple cars like the Vitz, the Damios. But the same Kenyans who are struggling to do all this should share with you cash to buy choppers. And they are saying itasaidia Wakenya kwa sababu Wakenya ndio wanapewa tender za kuuza chopper. Who will get these tenders? I tell you for truth, from where I sit, nikipata tender ya kunini chopper sitaweza. Sina hizo pesa. It means then it is one of them who will be doing this, who will get this tender. Hakuna mahali Mkenya anakujia. Hizi zote ni njama na njia za kuhakikisha ya kwamba wanaumiza, ukandamiza Mkenya zaidi. Na wapate njia ya kuharakisha kuongeza ukandamizaji huu. So that when President Ruto calls you as a politician and tells you, nataka nikutume Turkana, anachukua chopa. Watu ambao wanatumwa kwao wanalia njaa. Watu ambao wanatumwa kwao wanakufia hospitalini, wao na watoto wao, kwa sababu SHA haifanyi. SHA yenye inakuletea shift yenye imesumbua hadi rais mwenyewe akisimama mbele ya watu, kwa mfano Embu, kando ya rais aliyetoka Uhuru Kenyatta, hata ongea kuhusu SHA, hata ongea kuhusu SHIF, ataibatiza jina mpya, bila maji, bila mafuta, bila padri, bila bishop, aite Taifa Care. You still call it Taifa Care? You don't. But ikuwe Taifa Care, ikuwe SHIF, ikuwe SHA,
ikuwe universal healthcare coverage.
Grace Njoki Mulei was abducted 61 years of age because of saying it doesn't work. Na inakosa kuwork, time same government wanaongelelea Mbadi kwanza. Mbadi is a bad man. He's talking about wapeane tender, politicians wanunuliwe chopper when they are chopping us on the board juu tunakufa njaa. tunaelekea wapi? Nani atatusaidia? Solution ni gani? Naamini bado ni sisi kama Wakenya.
It is quite unfortunate, and even if we don't want to believe Rigathi Gachagua when he's saying that this government does not care about you, because we think that they were in the same government, so they are both the same. And as much as we don't want to believe him,
they are the same.
Happens inakukasirisha and you are like,
ukweli, they are the same. Hata ukiangalia hii picha, bado wanakaa the brothers they were in 2022. But sasa, the clear separation is, mmoja wake, the same way saizi tunaweza kukushika tukupeleke jela. Mmoja wake has paid the ultimate price. Rigathi Gachagua being impeached in accordance with the constitution.
Do you think there is something that goes on in this country? If you're in government, if you're receiving government goodies, everything in the government is perfect. But if you get out of the ukikasirishwa tu kidogo wakunyime kazi kidogo hivi wakutoe kwa WhatsApp group kidogo, the government is bad.
Lakini anasema ukweli kwa sababu ukiangalia hata Rigathi alipigania asitolewe. Licha ya kwamba anasema kwamba ikulu iko na hivi na hivi, lakini yeye mwenyewe alipigana. Hata sasa ya kukotini akipigana akisema kwamba anapigana. Kwa hivyo kuna inconsistency kwa vile ambavyo anasema. Kwa hivyo mimi naona Rigathi na hasara nyingi, lakini hata ukiangalia pia wale watu ambao walitolewa kule upinzani wakapelekwa kama waziri katika serikali, walikuwa wanapiga sana, wanailima sana serikali. Sasa hii hao ndio wanasimama juu ya magari wakisema kwamba paka 2032.
Anyway, wacha tungoje. February is around the corner. Tunangoja tuone kama
February itasaidia sana. When Raila comes back,
we will know
after winning or failing AUC.
Tuliona rais jana alita ile special meeting ya marais watano. Niona wale wote ni kama wanapigia umpato Raila. Hatujui.
We don't know what will go on. We were talking about Kenya's economies and money in our pockets. Now, on the Business Daily, we have Safaricom tax on Musk Starlink with subsea cable. Now, this might be hope for Kenya's biggest network channel or network provider. What do you think about this competition between Starlink and Safaricom?
Napenda competition, healthy competition, homondo. So Safaricom, they have been accused time and again of doing bad things in the country. But there's one thing they do that right. They offer best internet when it comes to matters network. But Safaricom is the weakest link when it comes to government accessing your information for abduction. They have been accused, and it is in public domain. 2, Safaricom have been accused of being fraudulent. Na wanakuibiaga tushilingi. Wale ni watu ambao wameivia hiyo kitu. For example, you can never buy exact amount of credit that you need to use. For example, kama unataka kutumia 50 bob kwa mama mboga, watu hapa chini, lazima ununue credit ya 52 kuendelea. Kwa sababu generally utaambiwa some cents zilikatwa. Sijui umesikiza sana, na usio unasikizaga, ni mwenye na kupigia simu unalipishwa for that. Elon Musk amekuja ameleta solution ya internet connection. Anatumia satellite. Wakenya wengi wenye hawatumii Safaricom wanatumia net zingine za wengine, wifi za wengine. Hizo wifi zinakuwa zimepitia kwa hizi undersea cables. So, Elon Musk ameamua kupitia juu. Safaricom wanaomba leseni ya kupitia chini. Na utasikia wakianza kusema sisi mnajua ni kampuni ya watu hapa chini. Ndio ni net kwetu majamaa.
So Blue Smile, what do you think about this competition between Elon Musk and not Elon Musk, let's say Starlink and Safaricom? What do you think? Do you think Safaricom is going to be at a better position because it's becoming unpopular day by day because of its relation to abduction cases and information?
Kusema kweli ni maandamano ya Gen Z yametufungua macho na ameleta mengi, yameharibia watu biashara, wanasiasa peke yake na sio hata wana biashara wa teknolojia za kinetwork pia wameguswa. Mojawapo ambao umeguswa ni Safaricom. Sababu kama ulikuwa unafuatilia vizuri katika ile mazungumzo ya mitandaoni, watu wanasema kwamba Safaricom kama Ojonga alivyosema ndio inayoipa serikali ama wale ambao wanafanya utekaji nyara wa Kenya zile data. Kwa hivyo ukiangalia sana pale wale vijana wa Gen Z hawana imani na Safaricom. Ndio maana wengi walikuwa wanatuma barua pepe kwa Elon Musk kwa kumwambia basi alete Starlink Kenya. Kumbuka basi hili sio bila Elon Musk mwenyewe. Ni vijana. Walikuwa kwa sababu vijana wa Kenya unajua wameandika sana. Kuna wengine ambao wameenda paka Netherlands huko wakaenda kusema kwamba wale wafalme wasije Kenya. Kwa hivyo vijana wa Gen Z wana kwa underrated. Kwa sababu hao ndio wameita Elon Musk na Elon Musk ameona kwamba huenda kwamba ni jambo zuri kukuja Kenya. Na wacha tuone kutakuwaje. Kwa hivyo ile competition nayo ni nzuri kwa sababu kama watu wakiwa monopoly kuna vitu ambavyo kwa sababu kuna mitandao mingine lakini ni kama wako monopoly kiplani. Kwa hivyo kuna jinsi ambavyo wanajisikia na labda hawafanyi vizuri, wanaona kama wanaweza fanya vitu na wasifanywe kitu chochote. Hiyo ni one of the other things. Alafu pia monopoly mimi Kenya Power kidogo mnaona vitu kama hivyo. Ni vitu ambavyo mnaona. Kwa hivyo competition ikija ni jambo zuri na tunatumai kwamba kwa sababu hata mara zingine wifi zingine zina load vibaya. Kwa hivyo mtu atakuwa na option akisema kwamba mimi sijisikii na Safaricom anaenda kwa Starlink. Kwa hivyo ni jambo zuri.
It's an opportunity for each provider to up their game. It's a good thing for Kenya as we see competition rising. Now as we conclude because time muda unatupa kisogo. Kiswahili leo tutamaliza. Sababu muda unatupa kisogo.
Kisogo is not in
It's not a simple thing to say.
It's extra.
Ojwang, we'll begin with you. You give us your closing remark, and the story that you're saying is very interesting.
Can I touch that story before giving a closing remarks?
Yeah, sure.
It's still on a financial standard, on the standard, page 20 and 21. They are talking about devolution scorecard, the sectors driving counties, and the key numbers are geared towards counties with low economic growth rates. These counties include Embu County in Mount Kenya region with 0.9%, Elgeyo Marakwet 1.2%, Nyamira, Bungoma, Kisii. Sawa. Tuki hapo mbio tuingie the sectors ama counties which have key sectors in the counties kama agriculture. That agriculture is producing 8% of our GDP na greatest contributor pale hivyo ni Meru County. They're doing so much in terms of revenue wanaleta in agriculture. Na hawa wa Meru si tunajua kile ambacho huwa wanavuna sana. Ukweli ukipanda pantosha unavuna pankwisha. Haya, wengine ambao wanavuna pantosha ni Nakuru 6.3%, Nyandarua 4.5%. Everyone knows cash crop ya Nyandarua. Waru. Murang'a 4.1%. In this particular county, the governor has been praised so much for what he is doing in terms of agriculture. Anapea Irongo Kangata is his name. Anapea wakulima mbegu. Anawapea fertilizer. Alafu anawaambia mkimaliza kuuza mahindi na maembe juu ndio najua sana mnatuuzia sisi kama county at very good prices. Haya, tukitoka hapo hivyo tunaingia Kiambu. Kiambu is also doing well. So, when it comes to manufacturing, Nairobi takes the lead, Mombasa, Kiambu, Machakos, Kilifi. I'd urge the reader to ensure that he or she gets a copy of the standard and see county yake inafanya aje. Nikimalizia. To our leaders and those that advise these leaders, let us be empathetic to our people. Let us understand and put ourselves in the shoes of our people in the community level. For example, in our constituency, Roysambo constituency, I told the world about some kind of engineered darkness. Hiyo ni karata au sakata ya watu kulia zaidi juu ya ukosefu wa stima, watu kulia zaidi juu ya insecurity. The same KM tumeweza kuokota mpaka mili ya watu kuliwa na kutupwa kina mama. Wakaletewa transformer yao ambayo ilikuwa imeharibika ya 200 kVA according to Kenya Power Statement released yesterday 27th January 2025. Wakatoa ya 200 wakaleta ya 315. When they brought that transformer, they did not communicate to Kenyans living in KM Kiwanja who include university students of Kenyatta University, that this transformer mtatumia kidogo tuchukue. They told them, sasa tumeleta solution. Hii ndio tiba ya stima hapa. And as residents, they felt good that now they have a better transformer. But there is an order from above to reclaim that transformer. An order that has made KM residents be in darkness. What has the area MP, Augustine Kamande Mwafrika, been doing? Amekuwa akilipa watu wake wa downplay the story, waonyeshe vile ni joke. At some point, they even made it a femicide situation, that watu wa stima walikuja wakapigwa sijui nini, na ndio maana kuna hali ya mshike na mvute kati ya KPLC na wakaaji wa KM. Umeshika? But bado watu wanaumia. Saa hii as we speak on this show, inasemekana timu Afrika ako KM anataka kutengeneza transformer. Why could he not have done that a week ago? It's simple. If you are a leader and you care about your people, you should provide solution other than covering the solution, insulting the solution, downplaying the solution. Tukue better, to get better sote. It's our community and we should look up to it. Sisi vijana, tukiharibu hizi zote, tutaishi wapi katika siku zijazo? Ojwang, mtoto wa Mariam, Senior Warrant Officer 1. Shukran sana, Sylvia.
Thank you so much. OJWANG Mariam is calling on leaders for accountability. Blue Smile, please give us your closing remarks.
Mimi nitawapeleka Goma kidogo, mambo ambayo hayaendelei kule vizuri. Kuna jeshi la M23 kidogo, kulikuwa na kama prison break kule. Kwa hivyo mimi my thoughts and prayers na zipo na watu wa Goma. Naomba mambo yasiharibike sana kule Goma, mambo yawe vizuri. Maneno yangu ya mwisho ni kwamba wakazi wa KM hawana mtu, si taasisi, si viongozi, wote wamewaacha. Hakuna wamezoea, kwa sababu kule KM niungane tu na OJWANG mtoto wa Mariam, ni kwa sababu hata mimi ni mkazi wa KM, na kule lugha ambayo tunajua ni maandamano, kwa sababu hata transformer ambayo yatolewa sahihi tuliandamana ndio ikaja, na sasa wanatutulia tunaandamana tena, wakitutulia, yani lugha ambayo tumezoea ni maandamano. Kwa hivyo ndio maana ukiona watu wameenda paka kule Mombasa Road ama Thika Road kunradhi kufanya yale maandamano, ni kwa sababu viongozi wenyewe wamezoesha wakazi wa KM kwamba lazima waandamane ndio vitu viwe. Kwa hivyo naomba Mwafrika isiwe tu sahihi, aendelee kuwa nasi kwa sababu hata MCA mwenyewe ametuacha. Kwa hivyo nikimalizia kwamba naomba tu mambo ya vizuri, wakazi wa KM waache kulalamika kwa sababu wengi ni wanafunzi, wengine wanafanya kazi. Kwa hivyo siku 3 sasa bila stima. Kama ni watu ambao wanaenda kazi kwa ofisi hata pasi hawapigi. Kwa hivyo ni jambo ambalo linasikitisha. Kwa hivyo asante sana Sylvia kwa kuniruhusu nijiunge nanyi. Mungu akubariki, mashallah.
Karibu sana. Now from Biashara Tuesday newspaper review, this is our conclusion that for our leaders, we are calling for accountability. We don't have to go to the streets for you to take action. We don't have to be killed for you to take action. It is all from the Finance Bill 2024. Now it's on the transformer students. They are complaining that the university, the leadership has left them. Now the clarion call is for leaders to take accountability before it's too late. Now that is it from Biashara Tuesday this morning. For our guest, thank you so much, OJWANG. Thank you so much, Blue Smile. And we also had Gamaliel Gerishom, who took us through personal branding. In his absence, also, we thank him so much. Now, this brings us to the end of Biashara Tuesday on this 28th day of January 2025. See you next week.